Hello, my loves. So, on this channel, we are talking about growth, and not just that, the new year is coming up. 2024 is basically here now. By the time you're watching it, 2024 is here. And it really got me thinking, not only because it's the new year, but I am in the other end of my 20s. So my 20s are basically gone. And in thinking about that, I thought to myself, like, what has really held me back in my 20s that I don't want to bring over into the new year, that I don't want to bring over into my 30s? And when I really sit down and think about it, I've been doing pretty okay throughout my time, but that doesn't mean that there hasn't been times where there needs to be some sort of improvement, or just for me to sit and look back. I have found at least 5 things that I have done in my younger 20s that, baby, we're gonna leave them right there, because it had its time. It taught me some things, but I don't want to bring those things with me. I want to continue to advance and grow. So let's get started. So the first thing I would definitely say for me that was a big one was the fear of the unknown. And I feel like that's common because when you don't know what's ahead of you, some people can get like this thrill off of it, right? This seeking of like, ooh, like we don't know what's going to happen next, and we're going to have to bob and weave. Baby, I'm not one of the people. I have said multiple times before that I do not like taking risks. I do not like being afraid or terrified, and the unknown can terrify me. But what I've also realized is that when I let that fear of the unknown really get into my head, it stops me from doing a lot of things. And I have to remember everything that has come so far, like for me, I've been able to manage it. So if you are a person that feels like you're afraid of what is ahead, the unknown, learn to a certain extent to embrace it, because I do feel like sometimes fear kind of keeps us in check, but kind of have this discernment, and I'm still learning it too. But I feel like having this kind of discernment, this judgment call of saying like, hey, it's okay to be afraid, but know that you're going to get through it once it gets there. Because me and fear, me and the unknown, we don't mix. Number 2 that I have on my list is just considering what I'm consuming around me. You really don't recognize the things or the company that you put yourself in, or the things that you see on social media. It really starts to mess with your perspective. Everything is an influence. And I've had so many times where I've talked to my friends and family, and one of the main things we talk about is keeping our peace and like just recognizing what we're putting into our orbit. Child, how dare my camera be so disrespectful? Anyways, I am really just going to be mindful of what I put into my orbit and into my space, because it influences where I am. Like, quick story, I was freaking out about something that I thought was going to come to fruition. And honestly, I have no reason to be freaking out about it. But why was I freaking out? Because like the stuff that I look at on social media really was just influencing my thought process, when it's like I didn't have that experience. I'm not going through those same things. That is not even my world. Like, what are you doing? Like, where are we? So all of that is just to say I'm really going to be mindful of what I put in my space. And if it does not pertain to me, if it does not fill up my cup, it's gotta go. Another thing, number 3, that I am going to leave behind me is trying to be a perfectionist. There is something about me, and maybe it's just things from my past, that I want to do everything right. By the time I put something forth to someone, I just want to be the golden star. And what happens when I do that is, if I'm not okay with trying, if I'm not okay with, hey, it's still being imperfect, it is never going to be right, ever. And what that does too is it limits my desire to take certain opportunities, because I feel like I'm not going to be at my best. When each time you do something, even if you get 1% better, you're getting 1% better, and that is okay. So to my perfectionists out there, it is okay to want to put your best foot forward, to put the best thing forward. But if it's starting to cost you like opportunities, if it's starting to cost you your desire to do certain things because you don't want to fail, baby, get over that. Get over that. Do not let your things go to waste because you're trying to be a perfectionist, because that was me, that is she. And I'm not doing that. I'm not doing it in 2024. I'm not doing it in my older years. I'm going to be okay with trying because I know I'm going to get better. So perfectionist, gotta go. Gotta go. Stage left. So that also goes to my number 4, is just being open to learn. I don't know if this is like a Taurus thing, because I hear that for Taurus, we are stubborn. But sometimes for me too, I don't want to say this about myself. I'm not going to say I don't have an openness to learn. I do. But once again, that perfectionist or perfectionism, I feel like I have to be right. And I'm not always right. And I really just need to get in the habit of being more open to learning past what I know. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you are in your 20s, your 30s, your 40s. Baby, you can always learn something new. And we are going to bring that into 2024, and we are going to leave thinking we know everything back there. We bid our time. We done the deal. Let it go. And then last but not least is, for me, I want to get more into execution, especially the older I get and the more time that passes. Guys, don't settle for just having ideas and desires and not following through with them. And people always stop at the action part, because when it comes to action, that's where you got to put your money where your mouth is. And people don't like to do that. They don't like to actually fit the bill when it comes time. I am also people. But this year, and actually I've been doing it even before then, is if I have a desire or a plan and I truly want it, put it into action, not just talking about it. And whatever that means, if that means you need to get like a planner or you need something to help you organize, because personally for me, I'm a checklist kind of girl. I like making lists for everything. I've literally been making lists since I was 7. I know that works for me. So in these upcoming years and just in my 30s, I'm going to plan and put it into action and execution, because if you're not executing it, it's just a thought. It's just a desire. It's not going anywhere. There are so many ideas and plans that people have that don't come to fruition. And why? Because y'all are not putting it in action. So we're going to put it in action. Shoot. So yeah, I'm going to put mine into action. So guys, I know that was probably some rambling on, but I honestly just wanted to share my experience and just my thoughts that I've really been having about myself lately as I reflect. I hope that you got something out of this video. Maybe you can relate to me. Maybe we're on the same wavelength, or maybe you just think I'm crazy. I don't know, but I hope that you like this video. You guys make sure that you subscribe to the channel. When I say I'm consistent now, okay, when I say I'm consistent now, I have been consistent for a good while, and I have a good execution plan to make sure I maintain consistent. And I'm going to make sure I post videos, shorts, whatever, at least every week. So just make sure that you subscribe to the channel. Make sure that you like this video. Make sure that you share for anybody that you feel also needs to hear this, because we're all about, again, uplifting, maintaining our mental health, and just evolving. And that's what I want this channel to be about. So as 2024 comes up and we are here, guys, just make sure you're the best you. Make sure that you are holding yourself accountable, that you are figuring out how to maneuver. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye.